Alright, what's going on, guys? This is going to be the third video of a 4-video series where we're looking at a couple different lures from Z-Man's Micro Finesse collection. Today we're going to be looking at the Micro TRD. This is just a scaled down version of their regular TRD, which is an interesting lure because it looks like it should not attract any fish at all. It looks just like a little stick or a little tube or something like that. I've never fished a regular TRD, but I know a lot of people like fishing that for bass. So this is just a little 1.75 inch version of that. We're gonna get this out on a hook. We're gonna cast it around this lake. We're gonna test it out, and then we'll do a little review on it in the back. So yeah, let's give it a shot and let's see what happens. Alrighty, so here is a look at the lure. 1.75 inches. Like I said, it doesn't look like it would attract fish. It looks like a little piece of tubing or a pipe or a pen. Doesn't look very natural, but sometimes natural presentations don't work. And I know a lot of people have had success with this, even though it's my first time trying it out. I gotta say, I don't have high expectations for this, mainly because in South Florida there's not a lot of bodies of water I think this would do well in. I think this would do really well in like some non-vegetated creeks where the bottom is just kind of either rocky or sandy or gravelly, where I could just kind of like drag it on the bottom or hop it along the bottom. In almost all the bodies of water in South Florida, it's going to be hard to fish this thing just because there's so much vegetation. I picked this lake mainly because there are some spots here where the water's deeper and there's not as much vegetation. So I'm going to try to fish those. I'm going to try to like get it into the openings, and then we'll see what happens. I'm also bringing out my St. Croix Legend Extreme medium light rod. Have not fished this in a couple years now, just so I can work this lure through some of this thicker vegetation a little bit easier if I need to. Also got a 2500 size reel on this with some 6-pound test. So still fairly light if we're going to be talking bass fishing, but a little bit heavier than like some of the ultralight gear that I use. And yeah, it's just getting caught up in a lot of grasses already. Like, look at this. So yeah, gonna be tough to fish this, but we'll do that. And we'll see if we can catch something on this, what we can catch on this, and hopefully get some good stuff out of this. So yeah, let's make another cast out there, and let's see if we can make it happen. Oh, there we go. Finally got a bite. Not a big one. So let's get him in. Little largemouth. Alright, so it's definitely a little guy, but we got our first fish on the little Micro TRD. Fairly small little largemouth. Even if we were ultralight fishing, this guy wouldn't be all that big, but at least we got one. Let's keep casting around. Let's see what else we can get. Oh, got him. I think this one's a little bit bigger, but still not big. Trying to keep him down so he doesn't jump. Oh, it's a peacock. Still not big, but it is a little bit bigger. Alrighty. Well, if you're wondering if peacocks like the Micro TRD, that's a yes. This guy is a little bit bigger. I think both fish hit kind of right on the drop as that thing was sinking down toward the bottom. Haven't really had any bites yet as I was kind of working the lure back in. But hey, we got 2 fish, 2 different species. Not a bad start. Let's keep going, see what else we can get on the little Z-Man Micro TRD. Got him. That feels like a better one. Or it might just be because he's in all these. Oh, did I lose him? What happened to my reel? Why did my reel just open up? What is going on here? I don't know if he's still on or if it's just now all these grasses, but why did my reel just open up? Oh no, he's still on. He's actually not bigger. He's actually fairly small, but he pulled really well. And what happened to my reel? Alright, so I'm pretty sure this is actually going to be the smallest fish of the day. But hey, still counts. I don't know why he felt so much bigger. He might have just wrapped himself up pretty quickly in like a whole bunch of weeds and grasses, and the weight of those made him feel a whole lot bigger. And then I also don't know what happened to my reel, why it opened up right then. But yeah, got 3 fish on the little Micro TRD. Let's see if we can get maybe one more here. I can usually do pretty well around this fountain in this area of the lake. A lot of deep water, a lot of structure, a lot of high oxygen water. So let's see if we can get one more here. Got him. Very next cast. This one's fairly small, but I think it's bigger than the last one. Not by much though. Alrighty, third largemouth of the day. Another fairly small one. I really like this lake because I can usually get a lot of bass this size and maybe a little bit bigger over here fairly easily. So I picked it because I didn't think really any bluegill or anything were going to go after the little mini TRD or Micro TRD, whatever it's called. But I am glad these bass are liking it because I wasn't even completely sure that we were going to get anything on it on that lure today. But yeah, got 4 fish already. Let's keep going. Let's see if I can get one more from here. Oh, there's a bite. Got him. Very next cast. This is a little guy. About the same size as the last one. 3 casts in a row, we got 3 fish. Alright, so I think I mentioned it after I caught the first fish near this little fountain. I can usually get a good number of fish from this spot. Deep water, lots of structure, lots of oxygen. We got 3 little largemouths on 3 straight casts here. So we'll keep going. I don't think I'm going to be able to get 4 in a row, but we can certainly try. But if we don't get a 4th one, I think we're just going to wrap it up and kind of give a little recap and review of the little micro or mini, whatever it's called, TRD. Oh, that was another bite. That would have been 4 fish on 4 straight casts. Okay, let's see if we can make it 4 fish on 5 casts. I know I said we were going to wrap it up, but you can't really wrap it up when you're still getting bites and catching fish. So let's see if I can make up for missing that one. I got a little too excited there. I think that I set the hook a little too early. Been working this lure super slow today. I don't think that was a bite. I think that was just a plant or a grass or a weed or something. But yeah, I've been working this lure super slow today. Not my favorite way to fish. Even if I'm fishing like soft plastic on jig heads, which usually are fished fairly slowly, I usually like to just fish them a little bit faster just because it gives me something to do. Just standing here on the bank holding the rod and just like twitching it every couple seconds. Not really my idea of fun. I'd rather fish like some faster presentations. But with this thing, I don't think a faster presentation is going to work. So I've been fishing it fairly slowly today. And it's worked out fairly well. Oh, there we go. There's another one. All right, let's get a photo of this guy. I know I said I wasn't going to show you the next one, and I know I said we were going to wrap it up and recap it, but had to keep fishing, and as long as I was getting bites, I was going to keep at it. And if we're going to catch a fish, I might as well show it to you. So that is, I think, the 4th largemouth on 6 casts, which is really, really good. But now, for real, let's go ahead and let's wrap it up and recap the lure. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it. 40 minutes of fishing, honestly less than 40 minutes of fishing. My camera's been recording for 40 minutes, but in terms of how much time I actually spent fishing, it's probably been close to 35, maybe even 30. So what, we get 6 fish, I think, in 30, 35 minutes. That is a very good day. And this little Micro TRD really, really surprised me. It well exceeded my expectations. So let's take a few minutes, let's talk about it, let's review it. Number one, let's talk about the positives. So like all these Z-Man lures, they're made of that super stretchy, super durable material. I caught, whatever it was, 6 fish. I think I had 7 bites. It got snagged a whole bunch on all these weeds and grasses. Didn't lose any, and this thing is still in perfect shape. And some other lures, after 1 bite sometimes, it gets torn up and you gotta replace it. These are slightly more expensive than like some regular I guess lures, but yeah, I think it's well worth the price because they're gonna last a lot longer. You're gonna need to buy a lot less of them. The other positive of this thing is that it just worked. So I know these kind of lures have worked for many people in the past really, really well. I have never fished them. Like I mentioned in the intro, I didn't think, and I still don't think, that a lot of the bodies of water in South Florida are great for using this kind of lure. I think this lure does really well when you can just kind of like drag it along the ground and it'll stand up a little bit. You can twitch it, pop it off the bottom. And a lot of the bodies of water here in South Florida, they're just way too weedy, way too grassy, where you're not going to be able to fish this thing effectively. In other parts of the country or parts of the world where it's more clear, there's not as much vegetation and structure, you're just kind of hopping this over some rocks or some like sandy, gravelly bottom, I think this lure would work really well there. But what do I know, because this lure worked really well over on this lake. So yeah, those are the positives. Worked really well, super durable, really happy about it. And as far as negatives go, I thought I was going to have a whole bunch. I kind of mentioned one of them where I don't think it's a great profile and a great way to fish a lot of bodies of water down here in this part of the country. But what do I know, because this thing worked really well. So I thought this was going to be my least favorite lure from Z-Man, but it just worked. So I am really surprised by it. If I want to catch some bass, I'll probably use it a little bit more often. It is small, 1.75 inches, but fairly big as far as like a panfish lure goes. And I think you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, I really like catching panfish more than bass. So if I was going to go for some bluegills, I don't think I would really use this, because this is probably going to be slightly too big for some bluegills, unless you're catching like some really big, dinner plate sized bluegills. But as far as like bass and mini bass, little juveniles, I think this thing is great. Slightly off topic, but also really happy I pulled out my medium light Sencord Legend Extreme today. With all the other Z-Man lures I've used them on like my panfish gear, my ultralight, and my light powered rods. Today I figured I'd size it up a little bit and took out my medium light bass rod, and I am really glad I did, because this thing worked really well in kind of pulling these bass in through some of this thicker vegetation. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I have really nothing bad to say about this, even though before I started this video I thought I was gonna have a lot of bad things to say about this lure. So yeah, definitely recommend you guys check this lure out, and check out all my other review videos for the Z-Man line from their Micro Finesse collection. Got a whole bunch of lures, and they all work really, really well. So that's gonna do it. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you next time.